Let's see. Okay. So, Anthony, tell us a little more about yourself. You're from Victorville, California. He's going to do a challenge. He wants to be challenged today. So, I'm going to go ahead and do it with him. And, as the seller this time. So, we're going to be hard on Anthony. He says, bring it on. So, tell us a little about yourself, Anthony.
Well, I'm with Century 21 leaders in the city of Victorville, Valley, California. I've had my license for right over 15 years. Haven't been active the whole time. Actually, I've been out the marketplace for several years. So I'm just coming back. Could say I'm a brand new agent in a sense, with all the different things that are happening today. So I'm here to learn and generate some business.
All right. Well,
Become a
that's why we're all here. We're all here. So so basically, Victorville, California. You had told me that you're in the high desert there. It's kind of, is the market starting to turn, or where are we at?
um, houses are on the market for a bit longer. I think it's this market up here in the high desert is more or less for buyers, as opposed to sellers. Um, I think that's more of the business today for the high desert. And then of course, there are also some notice of defaults and some expired listings that are on the market as well. Um, but overall, I think it's for here, it's more of a buyer's market. That's my thoughts on that.
All right. So that's why we get on these things coast to coast. So we know what's happening here on this coast. We know what's happening on this other coast. So and if you're in the middle, somewhere in the middle, like Tennessee's kind of in the middle, we know that it's heading our way. So okay, so here's the scenario. So I've got a home for sale in Victorville. It's going to be about 450,000. I'm doing it because of a job transfer. I'm an expired listing, but 6 month expired, and I'm not happy. I have to get to Nashville for a job transfer by the end of summer. Okay, and Anthony called me, qualified me, and now he's going to be knocking at the door, right, Anthony?
Here we go. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, so knock knock. Here we go.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, Anthony. How you doing?
Doing great in yourself. Again, my name's Anthony. I'm with Century 21. Noticed that your listing had expired and just wanted to find out, are you ready to relist that? Or are you interviewing some other agents?
Yes,
And
I'm
how?
gonna I'm gonna be interviewing, three more agents I've got scheduled. But you're the first.
Okay. And me being the first, that's why I believe you should choose me, knowing the market, how it is, and how we work, and everything that I have to offer. Um, have a few questions for you and make sure this might work for both of us as
Okay.
far as moving forward.
Okay. Well, that's why you're here. Should I show you around?
Yeah,
Uh,
let's take a look around.
okay.
First things first, get an idea of why your house didn't sell.
Well, I think that it didn't sell because the agent told me it was the market was changing, but to be honest, I've seen homes sell in my area that are $100,000 more than mine. And I improved it. I've got a pool out in the back. I've got this. I redid my garage floor. I've got some really nice improvements that I've done since I've lived here.
Well, I don't know what type of agent you were working with before, whether that was a buyer's agent, full-time, part-time. Uh, I happen to be a listing agent, our office. That's what our priority, our listings. So I just believe that having the right agent, I believe I'm that right agent. And just to have an opportunity to come out to your place, go over some numbers with you, see why I didn't sell and what makes sense. Only take about, I don't know, 15 maybe minutes of your time. It doesn't take long to for a quick evaluation and see if we can go forward from there and we can get your home sold.
Okay, great. So where should we go? I've shown you the house now. Where do you want to come sit in the living room here?
I think the kitchen will be fine if that works for you.
Okay, that's
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 good.
great. You want something to drink?
Water's fine. That's great.
All
And
right.
then we'll go over some of the particulars.
Okay.
I got my paperwork in front of me, so I'm trying to stay ahead of my
Right.
questions here.
So
Oh
he's
man.
not going to share the paperwork. It's in front of me also. So we'll just walk through it as if we're
Okay.
looking at it.
So, just some other questions to get started. So when do you plan on interviewing the next agent?
Well, I've got one here tonight at 4 o'clock, and then I got another one tomorrow night at 5, and well, two more actually tomorrow, 5 and 6.
Wow. And you know what? This is what I have to get really better at. I'm not gonna lie right here because this is good and I'm just getting back out there. I'm kind of lost right now and a little tongue twisted as you're hitting all these questions. Tell you the truth. I should do more. I have to do more study on my scripts, man. But so what's my recap? Oh my God. Anyways, oh yeah.
Well, let's quickly go over the questions that you asked me over the phone.
Okay, let's do that. And okay, basically what we went over the phone was if you sold the home, where would you go next? That was one of the questions. And how soon do you have to be there? I know you had mentioned that you were moving to Nashville,
Yes.
so
Yes.
that's very important. And what do you think stopped your home from selling? We
Well,
covered that about.
I think it was the market. I mean, the agent told me that I, wasn't going to get 450 in this market. But I put $50,000 into that pool just a couple of years ago. I think that we have some lot better home, or I've got a better home than most that are on the market. So I don't know why it hasn't sold. Um, but I need to move to Nashville, and I need to be there by the end of summer.
Well, if it didn't sell, I'd have to go over the numbers again to
Okay.
see if it was priced right for this current market.
All right. So
I
what
think that's very important. Even with your pool and everything else, we still have to go with the data at hand.
All
And
right.
that's
So
how we
what do you
come up
think
with
I
the
should be?
numbers.
What do you think I should be priced at?
Well, if it was on the market for that amount of time, it's normally 10%. I would actually drop it to just to come in at 425,000.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. See, I really don't want to drop it any lower than the 450. Did you see the pool and the deck that I have out there?
I see it and it's very nice. 450,000. That's your number. That's your bottom line number. We can only, if that's what your bottom line number is, we'll list it at that. And we'll
Okay.
have not only a few open houses, that's not going to be but it's my network. And we'll get this information out to all the realtors and the brokers, and we'll kind of hit it from that point. We'll make sure that everyone is qualified before even showing the property, and I think that'll work out a lot better for more serious buyers.
I don't want to do any open houses, Anthony.
Okay,
There was a neighbor down the street got robbed in an open house. I really, there's stuff turned up missing. I don't want to do any of that.
okay, that's fine. Like I say again, I can network with the other brokers, the internet. There are different social media sites, there are different home sites, and we can market that way as well.
Well, that's what the other agents, they told me the same thing and it didn't work. So what are you going to do that's different?
I don't know if they actually did that. That's what I like the opportunity to prove that this works, what we do. And I can't speak for the next person. I can only speak for myself. And did they even follow up with you at least once a week or to keep you abreast of what was happening?
They did it first. And then a few weeks went by and I never heard from him again. Pretty much just I had to call him.
Well, that's not good. So we don't work like that. And again, given the opportunity, that's what I'm here for. That's what I would like to establish with you.
Okay. So basically you're going to put me on the internet like Zillow. I could do that myself.
All right, that's not on my sheet here as a as a follow-up question. All right. Uh,
What are you going to do, Anthony, that's different than these other agents? This last agent was terrible. I've got a few, they say they're the neighborhood experts coming in, and that's who I got, tonight after you. So, and I've be honest, I've seen him his signs go up in our neighborhood.
Lost, Ron. I give up. I throw in the towel.
Okay, we'll do this. John, what would you say to that? So we're going to have a panel help you, okay, against me on this. So John,
So what's questions?
So what are you going to do that's different? I can put it on Zillow.
That is a great question, now, Ron. I mean, putting Zillow, I mean, that's a passive marketing. You don't need the agent. You can do it yourself. Save $1,000. What I do different, Ron, instead of push that, not that your homeowner, in the net and the website and stuff like that. What I do differently, in addition to that, I'm passive aggressive agent. I make sure the buyer on the neighborhood, on the buyer, under the buyer, know exactly your home is for sale. What I do, I'm gonna find the right buyer for your property. That's what you want, right?
Well, yeah, but that's what the other agent said he was going to do, and Anthony said he was going to put it on social media. So I guess I don't understand. What are you going to do that's different?
Well, Ron, the one key is to find the right buyer for your property. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna call your neighbor and make sure all the neighbors know exactly your home's for sale. And as maybe the neighbor wants somebody, some good neighbor moving to the neighborhood, right?
Well, I mean, why are you going to call them? They already got a house in the neighborhood.
Well, they might know somebody, Ron. They might know somebody who want to move to the neighbors, to the neighborhood. So I make sure just see the site itself. They just pass by. If they heard from the agent, they might give more, information to them. And that I cannot promise you anything. Instead, just waiting for the buyer come to your home. What I do, I'm gonna looking for the buyer for your property. That's exactly you want the agent to do that for you, right?
Well, yeah, I want someone who will be proactive and go finding a buyer. Yeah.
That's exactly. Let's decide the contract with me to work for you, Ron, and get your property sold. Sound good?
Sounds good. Well, Anthony, I don't like the commission. What are you going to charge? That last agent was charging me. It was like $12,000 or $15,000.
Commission?
The commission, Anthony. How much? What are you going to charge me?
It's 3%.
Okay, so yeah, that's like 12. What is it? 13. It's 450. So 3%. That's over $12,000.
Well, you want your home sold too, correct?
Yeah, but I don't want to pay that much.
Well, I'm not a discount broker if that's what you're looking for. I wouldn't be the one for this job because we have what we provide and what we do and the services that we offer. And with that in mind, maybe I'm not the realtor for you.
Well, you saying you don't want to list my house?
I'm saying at 3% is what we listed at.
Okay. Well, what about, is that 3% total? Because the other guy was going to charge 6%, but he splits it. And I guess we don't have to do that now, right?
Well, okay. I guess I should start all over. So 6% is 6% is our basic commission, and that is also split. 3% normally would go to the listing agent, and then 3% would go to the buyer's agent.
Okay, but I heard that I don't have to pay that now. The buyer's agent, that he gets his own payment.
That is a law, but let me say this. As we know of in the past, or if you don't know in the past, it's always been the seller who has paid the commissions. And the reason they're able to do that is because they have a buyer that is ready to buy their property and allows them the extra funds to take care of commission. So if you're not offering, in most cases, commission to the buyer's agent, which is negotiable, in most cases, you won't have a buyer coming your way unless, yeah. Okay.
Okay, good. So you're saying I do or don't have to pay it?
You do have to pay.
Okay, because I heard
Uh-oh.
different that I didn't have to
I'm
pay.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Maybe Lily has an objection handler on that. Let's see. Lily, step in, and you're Anthony's partner now.
Mm-hmm.
Lily,
So
I heard
what
I don't
I
have to pay that.
usually, sorry, sort of how I get around that is I say, that's fine. We can do 3%. I mean, our broker charges 3%. However, whenever the contract comes through, when somebody submits a contract to us, what's going to end up happening is that is going to be part of the contract that you accept or don't accept. Yes, we can negotiate and tell them, hey, we accept all these terms or the price of the home, but we don't accept that the seller pays the 3%. So that buyer's agent will go back to the buyer and say, hey, it looks like you're going to end up paying the 3% commission on this home. That's what they countered with. Will you like to continue with this home? And either the buyer's going to say yes or no, or the buyer's going to, say, find me a home that the seller is going to pay your commission because I don't have that extra fund or that extra money to pay that.
Yeah,
So
see,
usually
I'd really
that's
like
what
to
will
keep that.
happen.
I'd like to keep that in my pocket, Lily. So do I have to pay him, or can we list it and then maybe see when the offer comes in?
Absolutely. We can list it and see. Absolutely. You can list it and you can see. And we can do it that way. Sometimes the agents will actually call me and ask me, is the seller paying buyer agent commission? What would you like for me to tell them? Would you like me to say, send us an offer and we will see with that? Or, sometimes what we can do for you to give them that is we end up putting, let's say your house is 250, 200, 450. So to counteract that, I'll tell the agent, if they send in an offer asking for that extra 3%, hey, add that 3% onto the sales contract, that's what that you're offering that so that I can go back and then have the seller take that 3% off the offer price. And then sometimes that's how that is. But at the end of the day, the buyer ends up paying interest and all that stuff on your commission. So the buyer's agent, if they're smart enough, they'll go back and say, hey, look, you can pay it out of this, but just know that you're going to be paying commissions off of that.
Okay, so
3%.
we can pretty much just wait till we get the offer, is what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Anthony. We're at 450. We'll wait till we get an offer, and I just want to give you like a 30-day listing. I don't want to get tied up into these long, 6-month contracts anymore. So that's for Anthony.
That's a good one too. Oh, wow. That sounds good, but as a rule of thumb, 30 days is not enough really to get too much done. And so with that being said, our normal time, it would be 6 months to list your property.
Yeah, see, I
But
don't want to do that though. I mean, can we just go on a month to month? I mean, we'll see how it works out for the first 30 days, and then if we renew it, we'll just go to the next month. What do you think about that?
well, let me talk to my broker. Let me talk to my broker about that. And I promise to get back with you on that.
Okay. All right. So, Anita, how would you handle that? Let's go to Anita real quick. She's your new partner. I got a whole team in front of me.
Ron, I do understand you want to go month to month. So my procedure with my broker is 6 months. So we could shorten it down to 3 months and see how it goes during the marketing if anything changes. But our broker's regulation policy is 6 months.
Okay, so it's your company policy.
Is the company's policy. I can't change that. It's out of my hands.
Okay. Well, I can see that. I can see that. You know, so what if I decide at 90 days that we do it for 90 days and I decide I just want to go with somebody else? What do we do?
Well, how about we see how things go. Then when the 90 days come, then we reach that bridge.
Okay, so we'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
We'll cross
Okay.
that bridge when we come there. So you never know. We might get an offer as soon as we put it in the market and you go under contract in a week time. So things might change. The market will tell us how this gonna go.
Okay. All right. So Anthony, now you're at 90 days, 450, and you're going to look at the commission as it comes in. Okay. Or you're going to look at each offer as it comes in. So let me ask you this, Anthony. So, I've heard of all kinds of other agents. These other agents are the one following you is the neighborhood expert. I mean, I've never heard of you.
That's a good one too. Being that, no. Okay. Hey, I throw in the towel right now.
Anthony, this is real life. Take it as real life. You're gonna go out there, say anything to just tell the seller. If you don't have, just have questions. Just go on to the next question. You got this. Just go on to the next question. Just ask them questions. You control the conversation. As long as you control the conversation, you'll be good. Ask any question. Where you moving to next? If I sell your home, and would you be okay with me taking your listing and see how it goes? Control the conversation.
Okay.
That's exactly right. Just say, oh my gosh, you're kidding. You haven't heard? That's exactly why I'm here tonight, to show you what I do that'll cause the home to sell and get it actually sold this time. See, I'm 100% committed, Anthony, to getting you the highest sales price in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of headaches or problems. Now, is that what you want? And you say,
yes, of
yes.
course. That's
Who
what
would say no to that? Right? I mean, of course that's exactly what they want. Okay, great. Sign the contract so I can go to work and start right now. Sign the contract, Anthony. Be strong there. And then, so whatever another objection is, Anita, throw me another objection.
So another objection. Okay. So I know you want me to sell it at this price, but it's gonna sit. I don't want it to sit in the market. So what's the recommended price for us to put in the market and get it sold in 30 days?
Based on the comps, I need to understand that based on the market and the comps, I study those every single day. And therefore, I got to assume that you're going to list with me at a price that will cause your home to sell, Anita. Okay, so you're right. If you need it sold faster than 90 days, then obviously we're going to have to get it at a 30 or a 60-day price. So I'm going to strongly recommend we reduce that by another 5%. So, but we need to do that right away so that we can get you to Nashville in the time you want to be there. Won't that be great?
Yes.
Okay,
Great.
fantastic. And because we're sending you to Nashville, I know a great agent in Nashville. And after we sign the contracts today, we're going to get him on the line and we're going to have a 3-way call so he can start working for you out there. So whatever we may have to reduce here, we'll gain it on the buy out there. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay, great. Sign the contract so I can go to work right now. All I need is keys for the lockbox. Let's get going. We don't have time to waste.
Got it.
All right. So throw me another one. This is kind of fun. Art, throw me one.
Well, you sound good, but I think I'm still wanting to wait. The market, interest rates seem to be going up, so I'm not sure that I'm really ready to jump into this right now.
Oh my gosh, you said you had to be in Nashville by the end of the summer, correct?
Well, it's not an absolute must. That's what I was hoping. Yeah, that's true.
Right. And we already wasted 6 months. You wasted it with that lousy agent you had. Okay. So obviously you understand that to get to Nashville in the time you told me you needed to get there, we need to start today. Let me ask you something. When has waiting ever been a good thing for you? If you go, you have your favorite restaurant and your waiting's 2 hours. Do you wait the 2 hours or do you go?
Well, now you said that bad, lousy agent, but that's my brother, so watch out there, buddy.
Well,
Uh,
hey, I appreciate
I'm just giving
your
you a hard
brother.
time. No, I don't wait.
Yeah, you don't wait. Exactly. You go to Disney World or Disneyland with your kids, right? And a
Right.
2 hour line.
That's
Are you
true.
going to
That's
wait?
true.
That
All
costs
right.
you art. That costs you more than money. It's actually costing you your time, which we don't have anymore. So sign the contract. Let's get started today. And I appreciate that's your brother, but let's face it and be honest. Which is more important, just having him do it again or do you a favor or actually getting the home sold so you can get on to Nashville?
No,
Which
I
is
want to
more
get
important?
on. He did his best, but it wasn't good enough, obviously, because I still own the home. So yeah, I'll give you permission to get started. Where's that piece of paper I signed?
All right, sign right here. There you go. Somebody throw me another one. Good one, Art. Sonny, throw me an objection you're having. I can't hear you.
Have you sold in my neighborhood?
Have I sold in your neighborhood? I've sold in your neighborhood and every neighborhood. And the best part about that is I bring buyers from all the neighborhoods to your neighborhood. Okay? Does that make sense? I don't just specialize in your neighbors. I specialize in the whole city. Okay? And that's what a great agent does. Is we focus on bringing everybody to from different areas into your area. Does that make sense? Great.
Yes.
Sign the contract. Sign the contract so I can show you what I do.
So can I add some things, Ron? I always explain for them, I'm specialized to selling the home, not specialized in any subdivision. However, I sold in all the subdivision and I'm familiar with all the subdivision. Also, I will explain for them. So when you hire the agent specialized in your subdivision, you already have the buyers that they are looking here. I will bring the buyers from different neighborhood to this neighborhood, and you're gonna have more exposure with me.
Fantastic. How are you going to do that, Sonny? What is it specifically you're going to do for me that brings them in from those other neighborhoods?
So normally we don't have that much buyers that coming from the open house, but that doesn't mean I don't want to open your house for you. If you request the open house, I will definitely do the open house.
I don't do open houses. I don't like open houses.
So what I do is whenever I calling from 8 to 12, I actually talk to a lot of buyers in the different neighborhood. I can actually lead them to your house. And also if I have the open house, other houses, I will bring the buyers for your house as well.
Okay,
So
great. So tell me a little more about that. What do you mean you talk to them 8 to 12? What do you do?
So I'm not like normal agent to put the sign front of your backyard and then put in the multi-listing service and then phrase somebody like me, bring the buyers for you. In fact, I'm on the phone from 8 to 12, talking to more than 50 buyers and sellers every single day. That means you have actually 40% chance more with me to selling your house than other agent. So I will talk to them and definitely even right now, that's the reason I would like to actually have the pocket listing from you today because I have your house in my list when I talk to 50 buyers tomorrow. We can actually sell your house even earlier than you are in the market. Can you believe we did this happen before and we can do it for you too? I'm confident that I can sell your house.
Okay, that sounds good. I don't know what a pocket listing is, but yeah, that sounds good. Anthony, where'd you go? Anyways, great answer, guys. I mean, when you see what the stats, when you know the response, Anthony, and that's what we're going to work on. That's why you're here in this group, to work on being able to just right off the top, this is what I'm going to do for you. Block 1, we're going to go to A, we're going to go to B, we're going to go to C, we're going to go to D. Okay. And those are the items that cause your home to sell. See, it doesn't do us any good to just put an ad out and never respond. And you're just kind of fishing, hoping something will bite on the line, when really you got to know the water temperature. You got to know what the kind of fish you're fishing for. You got to know what they're eating this time of year. See, those are all the stats that I know as a professional real estate agent. Okay. And so I got to assume that you want a pro. You do want a pro, Anthony, right?
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. I'm that pro. I have those stats and I have that strength. Sign the contract so we can get started today. Okay? We don't have the time to waste anymore. And I have a great agent in Nashville. So we're going to get him on the line after we sign the contracts, and we'll explain what your whole procedure is. That way you don't skip a beat. We don't have the time to lose anymore, correct?
That's right. Yeah.
All right, then sign the contract. Fantastic. That's a good one. Good one, or Susan, Sonny. But when you know those stats, you can just come right back. She knew how many people she talked to every day. She's putting a sign in the backyard, I think she said. But, I don't like open houses, guys. Open houses take too much time for the return on your time. Unfortunately, a lot of agents think that they're working because they're doing an open house, and they spend every weekend away from their family, and causing the seller to spend every weekend away from his house because you do these open houses. You are more effective, even if you just do it Monday through Friday, 9 to noon, 8 to noon, and focus on getting your goal of 20, 25, 35 contacts made. Okay, you are far more effective. By the end of the year, you'll beat anybody that just does open houses. I guarantee you that.
Ron, can I ask that one? Either you never sold homes in my neighborhood, or if I haven't sold very many homes, period. Can you? Seems to me you could almost laugh and say, "Oh, listen, our company." My broker, my associates, we have sold many homes in every neighborhood in this city. So that's not even a real thing at all, whether I've sold it on this particular street, on this particular block. So why don't you go ahead and sign the contract, and I'll put not only me, but our whole brokerage, our whole team on this thing starting tonight. All I need is your written permission right here.
Absolutely. Sounds good to me. When you don't have the track record, what Art is saying is go to your brokerage, go to your company, go to your team, and produce those, if you need to. But, you can just say, oh my gosh, that's exactly why I'm here. See, you need to focus on getting this thing signed and back on the market. See, if you level shift and go, oh my gosh, you're finally seeing the picture. It doesn't matter what my production is. What matters is getting your home back on the marketing so I can get it sold. Get them focused on another question. Hit them with another question. If you want to go into your company stats and everything, that's a good way to go. But a lot of times they're just saying questions or objections because they're saying, oh man, this Art is good. Or this Anthony's, he's ready to sign. I got to slow him down. But if you hit them with, look, you told me you need to be in Nashville by the end of summer. After holidays and weekends, we've only got like 65 days to get this sold. See, you already wasted time with your brother-in-law. I don't have that. I don't have that anymore. I don't have that time. So you and I can't waste time. Okay, so we need to sign the contract and get it started now, today, right now. Sign the contract.
So, Ron, another thing that actually we have it in this season, we are in the golden season right now. Those people that they want to wait, is really good to actually remind them we are in the summer season. In the summer season, we are selling house, more than, fall and winter. Why they have to wait?
What else happens in the summer season, Sonny?
Because of the school, most of the,
but what else happens?
Yes.
The vacation.
Do you have more competition come on the market?
For the sellers, you mean your buyers?
For the sellers, do you have more competition?
Yeah, we do.
Of course you do. So So you're saying, okay, and that's a good objection handler, is to say, look, we got to get it on the market. People are out of school. This is when they're buying. But guess what? Other sellers are doing the same thing. So we want to hit the market first before they hit the market, because we want them to support our price. We don't want to have to chase their price. Does that make sense? What if your neighbor down the street puts it on for $25,000 less than we are? Then guess what I have to do? I have to come back to you and get a $25,000 reduction, don't I?
Yeah.
Okay, so we want to be the first. Don't waste any more time. Get it on the market. I did that. That was an example I did back 3 months ago. We waited because he couldn't get his house ready until February 1st. Well, the neighbor down the street, 6 houses down, put it up for $30,000 less than we recommended. So guess what I had to do on a coming soon? I had to go back and get a $30,000 price reduction before we even put it on the market, because we got submarined by somebody's price. So don't let them hesitate. Go ahead and hit them. But yes, that's one thing you do. If you have a selling season, let's get it on now. We can't wait. See, to someone who really has motivation, they can't wait anymore, guys. Okay, it's got to be a reason to get it on. They've already wasted time. So it's up to you. And I really recommend right now in this market, adjust. If you come in at 500,000, take another 5,000 off that. Come in, if you do your comps and everything, give you a 5% leeway on that price. Just come in 5% less than what you already figured, because this market is starting to change.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. And that's happening nationwide. There's some pockets that seem to sell, but that'll still sell above if it's a real hot pocket. But I think that right now you should prepare them for that 5% adjustment. So you did your studies, you did your CMA, and you think 500, go in at 5% less. So another 475, right?
Mm-hmm. Ron, I have a question. I would like to see how you actually handle these. For those luxury house that we need to do the staging, I want to just see if they come back and they say, okay, other agent stage your house. Are you charging for a staging? So how we handle it?
Staging. I don't pay for. I would just tell you, no, I don't. Any other questions?
Mm-hmm.
And then just go to the next question. Don't pay for anything. Why do you pay? I talk to agents all the time that do that. The other day I talked to a lady. She was putting a sign in her Lexus, and she tore the seat. Oh no, it was a door. It wasn't even the sign. It was a door. And I said, "What are you doing?" And she says, "I can't get this door in my car." Why are you putting a door into your Lexus? Because she promised to go pick it up and deliver it to the handyman who's at the house for the seller. That's not your job, guys. That's not your job. And if you give in to that once, they'll take advantage of you every time. The seller has to, if he wants to do staging, that's a great thing. Here's a list of stagers, hire somebody. I don't get into that. My job is to get it sold. So that's my job. I'm a salesman, period. See, you're not marketing, guys. You're not marketing. If you were marketing, you'd work in New York on Madison Avenue or something. You're a salesperson. You're a salesman. Okay. And that's what you have to get across to them. That other agent that marketed your home for 6 months, look what happened to it. We know the results of that. So if you want it sold, this is what I do to get the home sold. And that'll cause yours to sell. And then we're going to move you on to Nashville. So sign the contract. Does that make sense? Yeah. I don't do staging. I mean, there's some agents that will pay for that. And if you do it, don't pay for it. Have them pay for it. That can get expensive. So even if you're doing, go ahead.
No, I just want to hear you. Because even with Jim Vulcan 7, this question always comes up. If you say, if you knew you could pocket 5, 10, 15, even $20,000 more. Be honest, what would be more important? Would that be more important, or that Francis sells your house, blah blah? Okay, that
Right.
scenario. And people always ask, well, honestly, I don't know what I do that's better, because I think the idea is we all think that the other agent does exactly the same thing. I suppose that's what's underlying it. But how would you, if someone says point blank, okay, so what are you going to do? What's going to make me think that you're going to be any better than the next guy, or the one that didn't get it? So what exactly, tell me, are you going to
That's
do?
real easy, Art. Did I call you or did you call me?
You
I
call
called
me.
you.
Okay.
I prospected you yesterday. You're an expired listing. Did I call you or did you call me?
You called me.
Absolutely. Exactly. That's what I do that's different. See, I talked to you
Oh,
yesterday.
I'm
I don't know
sorry.
you,
You're
and
in the
here
role
I am.
play.
24 hours later, I'm here, sign the contract. That's what I do.
Okay.
Okay.
So just jump right across that.
Because that's the truth.
Yeah.
That's
The
what
fact that
you
I'm calling
do.
you makes me different right there.
Right. I called you. You didn't call me. The last agent you listed with, he was a referral. Most of the time it's a referral, or there's somebody they know or something. But the truth is, if I'm prospecting and I get the appointment, I call you and I set the appointment with you. I qualified you and I'm here today talking to you. That's what I do different. Sign the contract.
Okay. And so on that initial call that you called me, I guess in setting the appointment, if I asked that same question, you would just basically blow it off until the appointment.
No, if you ask me that's what I'm going to do that's different,
Yeah.
that's a
On the
great
phone.
question. That'll be the first thing we talk about when we get together. I have 3 today or tomorrow at 4. Which
That's
is
what
better
I mean.
for you?
That's what I mean by blowing it off. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, you would push that. That'll be the first thing we talk about. Anthony,
Gotcha.
that'll be the first thing we talk about.
Okay.
Anything they say is exactly the reason you need to get together, though. Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. That's why we need to get together. I have 3 or tomorrow at 4. Which is better for you?
Love
And
it.
What if they say,
go
what
ahead.
if they say, oh, I don't have time. Why don't you just tell me now?
No, I don't do that. See, do you want a professional agent, or do you want someone who you can just ask and they'll flip you things over the phone? See, I'm a pro. I'm a professional agent. I make a professional presentation. And if I can't convince you in 5 or 10 minutes that I'm the guy to go with, then we don't have to go on from there. Sound good?
Not really. I like to hear, what it
But you
is.
will hear. That'll be the first thing we talk about when we get together. So today at
Yeah.
3 or tomorrow at 4?
But I just would like to hear it now here. I mean,
No, I don't do that. I don't do that. You mean the last agent you listed with told you stuff like that over the phone? I've got to show you. See, a pro makes a presentation. Okay. And my presentation only takes 5 to 10 minutes. But like I said, and if you don't want to go on further from there, we don't have to. Sound good?
Well, why don't you just Jim one? What's more important to you? Me telling you this, or
you can.
you know what I'm talking about, right?
Most of the time, if you're a pro, okay, if they really need to get it on the market and get it sold, they're going to set it up. You're going to make a presentation. See, which is more important to you? Just finding information or actually getting the home sold? And be honest.
That's good. Yeah.
You see what I mean? But you can do it all different ways. Jim will say, well, that's like describing the color blue. Okay. To me, I'm a pro. I'm not going to just wing it out there. I'm going to go make a professional presentation. You have to get in front of the people. You have to get in front, even if it's a Zoom or whatever. You want to look good. You show up on time. You have a presentation that you've got scripted, and you're ready for any objection handlers. And if you do a strong presentation, they don't have any objections. I mean, they don't, guys. I rarely have an objection. Okay, you get far more objections on the phone than you ever do on the presentation. Okay, but if you go in with a strong presentation, you don't have any They don't have any objections. They got to be crazy to interview another agent. What are you gonna hear from the other agent that I haven't said? What is it that I need to convince you or answer for you? What's the question in your mind? Art, what in your mind do I need to answer to get this listing today?
You need to convince me that we're going to get this home sold so I can get my butt out of here and over to Portland, Oregon.
Well, that's my goal. Get your butt out of there to Portland, Oregon. Sign the contract because we don't have any more time, right?
Right. Okay. Sounds good.
There you go. Don't be afraid to confront them at all, guys. I mean, you're just got to come right back over them, answer matter of factly, have a question, and then tell them, let's sign the contract then. I can't go to work for you until you sign the contract. And that's what you want me to do, correct? Is go to work for you now. And you're doing this. And guess what they'll do? They'll do this. You know, it's me, Anthony. Yes. You don't want to waste any more time, do you? Yuck. Have you guys, who's been to a productivity school? Like Mike Ferry Productivity School? Anybody? Okay. That's one of the things they teach you is to go, even if you're on the phone, that facial, you're kidding. Oh my gosh. That's exactly why. See, that's why my presentations seem more energetic. You know, everybody comments on the energy and the enthusiasm. That's because I've learned that. I practiced that. That attracts people to you versus, well, look at here in the CMA, I've got 5 houses here, and this one's about the same square footage, and this is almost the same. By the time you go through your stats, you've lost energy. They're thinking they only have like an 8-minute attention span in the first place. So you got to go in with a show. And that's why these are so powerful, these practices. It's a show. And you learn to perform. And you don't vary your listing presentation other than the numbers. You really don't vary it on whether it's $1 million home or a $250,000 home. Okay? You have a canned presentation that you know. And that's what you got to learn. Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
All right, Anthony. I'm sorry to do that to you, but yeah, you wanted those challenges, and that's what we gave you today. And I think that a lot of people, you know, pitching in, but that's why we're here, to help you, to help everybody. Hopefully I can, you know, I've listed a lot of homes. I've been around forever, and you name it, I've done it. I've had all kinds of clients, everywhere from the Archdiocese of Santa Fe to, you know, some gangsters, you know, so, but those are things you learn. And the main thing you learn is just whatever you say it with confidence. Okay. Lily knows the scripts. Anita knows the scripts. You know, Sunny, she did a great job on that. She knew those stats. She knew the script. So that's the main thing to learn, Anthony, is just learn you a little script and practice it over and over. And you'll get, I mean, you've done it before. You know the Century 21, so yes. They have a good system. But it's really Anthony that gets the business. Right. It's Art that gets the business. It's Lily that gets the business. You know, you don't have to rely on any companies. So, does that make sense? Yes.
Just real quick, I've only a couple times I've been here on your broadcast, which is great. I have you sent me your listing presentation checklist. Okay, I got that document a while back.
Yes.
And I've got Mike Ferry's scripts, starting with the CMA presentation, blah, blah. Is there a specific script that you have adapted that has been fine-tuned to your style?
Well, the presentation checklist, really, I took that. I used to train my agents to take that with them. And after each question, you just check it off. Right. And you ask, if the sellers say, are you reading that? Say, absolutely. I don't want to miss any questions on our presentation here. Sure. So the only thing I've adapted is when I get to the home, I'm 100% committed to getting you the highest sales price in the shortest amount of time with the least amount of headaches or problems. Now, that's what you want, correct? And they'll say yes every time. And you want to follow that up. I started saying, in this market, you understand that to do that, I have to be somewhat aggressive and proactive in my approach with the buyers to bring you the offer you want. Now, is that the kind of agent you want? An aggressive agent. Everybody wants an aggressive, proactive agent, guys. Everyone. And so they'll say yes. And you say, fantastic, let's go on over to the kitchen table and talk a little more. So basically, you just direct them from the time you get there, you got 2 yeses, then you get them to the kitchen table and you go through and I give them my, my net out and everything before I get there. So they have those pages. And then I say, oh, just so we can review. And then I bring one out with their numbers and everything on it. See, I want to draw those objections out right away before I do anything else. Okay, and that way I know what I have to handle. And it's always the money. It's pretty much always the money, so yes. So hopefully we're good on this. We ran out of time here. But anyways, thank you very much, guys. That was a great one. I like that. I like everybody's participation. Maybe we'll kind of change the format. Anthony, you did great. Well, you did great. We just need to work on getting you a little more scripted.
Right.
I sent you a bunch of scripts and dialogues, and like Art said, that Mike Ferry handbook and stuff. Just pick them. You only have 10 objections, guys. Really, you only have 10. Once you learn those handlers, and the one you feel most comfortable with, then you can handle anybody. There's rarely any other. We only went through 4 or 5 today. So there's rarely any ones you can't figure out a solution to. And most of the time, it's just going on to the next question. Sometimes it'll be, oh, that's silly. That'll never happen. Sign the contract.
What are the 10?
What are the what?
What are the 10 objections?
Well, 10's what do you do that's different? Let's see your marketing plan. Will you cut your commission? Will you take a shorter listing? I've never heard of your company. I've never heard of you. Those are just real simple things like that. Let's see, what was I on? I'll send you my pre-listing package. Send me a text, and I'll send you my pre-listing package. It'll have those top 10 objections. But really, they're all the same. I've never heard from you. What are you going to do different? Will you take a short? Will you cut your commission? No. Any other questions? In fact, Art, I'm going to probably charge you more money. And I'll show you that when we get together. Sound good?
Okay.
I'm going to ask you for more money in the way of a bonus. Because in the real life, people, if they meet a quota or they meet a deadline, guess what the people who actually work for a living, guess what they get? They get a bonus, right? So if you meet the deadline or they meet the quota, they get a bonus. It's only real estate people that are afraid to ask for more money. So, Art, look, if I do a great job and I get this under contract within the first 30 days with a strong contract, I'm going to ask you for $500 bonus upon closing. Sound good? It's already in your net out that I did for you. So, okay. And if I don't meet that deadline, I'm going to put it back in your column. Okay. And you say, yes. They'll almost always say, yeah, I've been losing deals until I say that sometimes. And they're like, oh, I love that, because in their mind, they relate to it. So, okay. Any other questions? All right. All right, then, Anthony, you did a great job. Thank you. So we know we got to get that presentation.
Yes.
Just kind of embedded in your, just even if you take it and read it. Okay. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for wanting to be challenged.
Thank you. You're welcome. Let's see. The only one that I did get though, Ron, was the pre-listing.
Yeah, I sent you a pre-listing package, and then I sent you I even sent you an audio file I sent you the Mike Ferry script book, the audio file.
I didn't get that. No.
Okay, I'll resend it.
Okay.
I have a great Mike Ferry, an old audio file about complacency that is a great one. And and no matter what level you're stuck at, you're still complacent. You're still complacent. So if you're doing 10 deals a year or 40 deals a year or 75 and you can't break that ceiling, it's a complacency issue.
Right.
Okay? You got to find ways to grow beyond that and not be complacent. Okay? That's what happens when you make a lot of money. Pretty soon, guess what? You still get complacent, and you get stuck. Thanks, Lily. I appreciate it. But all right, guys. Thank you so much.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes. Who? Alex?
Yes.
Okay.
Ron, I have to tell you, I really love the way that you were aggressive and showing urgency. I really like that because with that energy that you have, it would entice some, maybe half or whatever to say, okay, let's go ahead and put it on the market.
Yes.
So
you have to push them. You have to push them, or they'll get their way and interview other agents. You don't want that. Your job is to get them away from those other agents, because you really got to believe, Alex, that you're the best agent for the job. And when you really believe that, you got to convey it in a way that makes them understand that you are doing them a favor by getting it signed now. And by waiting and maybe going with another agent, you're just going to make the same mistake you did before, especially expired. So yes, thank you, Alex. That was nice. Yeah, you just got to push though. And it sounds like I push real hard, but when you're on the phone or you lose a lot of your body language. You lose all that. And so that's why I emphasize, even though you're on the phone, make those like that, or smile. It comes across. So
makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. I'll see you guys on Jim's call in a little bit then.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye.